welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. Hero MotoCorp has finally entered the electric vehicle space with the Vida V1 scooter. It's available in two trims, the Vida V1 Plus and the Vida V1 Pro, and it's priced pretty expensive, between 1.45 to 1.59 lakh rupees. It's the most priciest proposition amongst its peers. So we sent Rohit to ride this motorcycle to find out whether it can justify that hefty price tag.
Zero seems to be the buzzword at Hero MotoCorp right now. Right from showing interest in investing in the US-based Zero motorcycles to actually investing in Ather to now this, entering the zero emission space with this, the V1. Oh, and with this electric scooter, they also will now spawn a sub-brand called Vida.
The word Vida simply translates to life in Spanish. And this brand will have its own showrooms in India starting next year. But for now, the V1 will be sold online or via experience centers that will start in Jaipur, Delhi and Bengaluru, and the deliveries will begin in December 2022. The V1 will also be the first of many to come and is available in two variants for now, the Plus and the Pro, with 3.4 and 3.9 kilowatt-hour battery packs respectively, which is on par with the competition. Where it pips most of the competition though is with its claim range, 143 and 165 kilometers respectively for the Plus and Pro.
Out of the three riding modes, the Eco mode actually feels very natural. It's not too sluggish. Of course, it's a little bit dull compared to the regular ride mode or the sport mode, but you can do most of your daily chores with this in the Eco mode itself. You also have a nice boost function, which essentially gives you a quick burst of power. So what it will essentially do is it will switch from Eco mode to sport mode the moment you ring the throttle. So you want to pull an overtake, you want to climb an incline, or you just want that sudden burst of power for whatever reason, you can have that. And you get that power surge for a good 30 seconds, after which it will move back to Eco mode. And it works quite well.
While the Eco mode tops out at 54 kilometers an hour, the ride and the sport modes stretch the top back to 70 and 84 kilometers an hour respectively, with slightly quicker acceleration too, especially in the sport mode. The performance leads to a 10 to 15 kilometer drop in range, claims Hero.
In case you fully run out of charge, you don't really have to say Alvida to the Vida. Essentially, this scooter comes with two removable battery packs. Now, at 12 kilos each, they aren't easy to lug around for sure, but this is good news.
On a regular 3-pin plug, these batteries will take around 5 to 6 hours to charge fully, and both the batteries can be charged simultaneously. While we couldn't test it, the Vida V1 can also run on a single battery if the need be.
Hero claims that using their fast chargers, 1 minute of fast charging can give you 1.2 kilometers of riding range. Also, for now, thanks to the Hero Ather connection, you can also use the Ather chargers to charge the scooter. It's not only the Hero chargers. That's good news again.
The fast chargers will allow 0 to 80% charge in around 1 hour, which too is on par with the competition.
Now, the spec sheet will tell you that the weight is almost as much as the Ola S1, but it doesn't feel as heavy.
Those looking for lighter alternatives will continue to find the Ather 450X or the TVS iQube to be the more convenient options. The 780mm seat height is almost as tall as the Ather or the Ola and can be a bit of a perch for shorter riders. Speaking of the split seats, the rear seat and the adjoining panel below it can be completely removed for a single-seater form, either for design sake or for installing mods like cargo carriers, luggage systems, etc.
If you leave all the bodywork in place, you get 26 liters of cargo space. It will, however, still not take a sporty full-face helmet, but made in India, ISI marked helmets ideally shouldn't be a problem. What I really like is this cargo space sits independently of the battery compartment. The batteries sit right here, even the charging equipment goes right on top of the batteries. So you get full 26 liters at your disposal for your groceries, your luggage, ISI marked helmets, whatever you want.
I quite like the ingenuity of it, but all the peripheral plastics, barring the colored body panels, feel low-end, while the switchgear feels flimsy. I hope these are shortcomings of the pre-production prototypes only. The TFT instrumentation you see here is the final spec. And for a 2023 device, the peak brightness is lacking in broad daylight and the touchscreen feels laggy. That said, the switchgear can control most of its vital functions, and it's also the safer way should you need to use it on the move. On a related note, the riding modes can be changed on the fly too, but given how eager the sport mode is, I would have liked the Vida to necessitate full closure of the throttle to allow the riding mode changes. The V1 also comes with a cruise control function that works as advertised.
Now, though Hero owns a fat stake in Ather, there is no real component sharing between the two vehicles apart from maybe the charging socket. But the electric motor, the peak output for it is very comparable to that of the Ather, 6 kilowatts and 25 Newton meters. But at the same time, the sustainable output is slightly higher than that of the Ather, 3.9 kilowatts. So while the V1 doesn't really set new benchmarks in terms of the specs, it does feel very natural to ride, and that is what I love. All of Hero's learnings clearly shine through with this vehicle in terms of the chassis, in terms of the way the motor behaves, in terms of the way the suspension behaves, the braking, etc. All of that feels very natural. So if you're transitioning from a traditional scooter to this, the transition is not going to feel too unnatural, and that actually is a very good thing.
The Vida V1 also feels breezy around winding roads. It's nimble and has sure-footed turn-ins with its 100-section MRF tires. There's plenty of front-end feel too, and a sense of robustness and security in the way the V1 moves at speed, through the curves and also on the straights.
In case you do not like the V1 for whatever reason and you want to say alvida to it in less than 18 months, Hero will give you up to 70% assured buyback or residual value. That again is good news. There are registration charges, RTO, taxes, etc. So by the time you end up buying the V1, it's going to be priced a little under 2 lakh rupees, which is on par with the Ather, if not more. But it's a given that the Vida brand will charge a premium for the Hero legacy, for keywords and attributes like reliability, the service network, the cost of ownership, and more importantly, longevity.
Well, as Rohit just mentioned in his story, Hero MotoCorp will assure you 70% of the buyback value within 18 months if you don't like the scooter for some reason, and also you can keep the scooter for 3 days, ride it around the city to make up your mind whether you really want to buy that scooter. I think that's a pretty good deal. We'll be back after a very short break to tell you all about BYD Auto's latest electric vehicle SUV. Stick around, you're watching Overdrive.
ये लो अब खाओ